Like most of you guys know, I love writing. So every 2 days I write my emailing list, an email which is generally regarding some kind of recommendations or motivational or inspirational. And many a times some students write back to me, and when they write back, some of their questions are very thought-provoking. So there was this one student who just came in the last year of his bachelor's, and he's like, I'm not able to understand like what exactly should I do. Like, should I go for GATE? Should I go for IES? Should I go for IAS? Should I go for the private jobs? Should I move abroad? Or like, you know, should I come to Germany? Because like for him, like this was also like 2 different categories. And I find it to be a very interesting question, because I remember myself being in that situation and being absolutely clueless. Not absolutely clueless, I had an idea that, you know, I do not want to live in India. Like that was pretty much the first very vague guiding principle that I had, that, you know, I do not like how the work culture is, like how I had to talk to the professors. Alina was there once. So what happened was, Alina came to India, and then we wanted to apply for leave for myself, and then I took Alina and my brother, and I was like, you know, you guys are coming anyway, so like let's just go to my HOD and like let me just submit the leave, and then you guys can we all can leave to home. So that was it. But Alina saw me talk to my HOD like a complete wet cat. So it's like, yeah, sir, can you just sign this leave? I have to go meet my family and blah blah. And Alina got really annoyed by this. She was like, you know, this is just a way that I have never talked to anybody in my life, and I do not understand like why did you talk like that? So like she was actually very angry on me, and I told her that in India things just generally work like that. Whenever you go to some professors or you go to anybody who has bigger authority than you, then you have to be humble. Most of the times you have to be humble, because you never know like what kind of thing like triggers them off, and if they get triggered, then you cannot talk to them about the rationality of whatever situation you are in, no? So then they will do whatever they want, and then you're pretty much screwed. So this kind of culture like really made it difficult for me. Like I had been to the court for applying for the driving license. I've seen how the test works. Alina and I, we wanted to get married, then also like we had to go to the courts. We also saw like how the system there is. So like all of that was pretty much something that I was fed up with. Yeah, and also like when I lost my phone, so I had this Asus Zenfone Max, and I bought that phone because it had a lot of battery. Yeah, I bought that phone, and then afterwards it got stolen. So we went to the police, and afterwards we wanted them to, you know, just track it and stuff like that, and they were like, you know, we can only track the phone when it is something regarding a heinous crime. And I'm like, you know, heinous crime can happen if they contact any of the female numbers which are in my phone, and, you know, I don't know, track them, and what do I know? So these kind of things were disturbing. Like you want your thing to be done, and you need some support from them, but nobody's willing to support you, which is like something I did not really like. So that one thing was clear for me. But this does not mean that everybody has to move abroad. Now, this is not what the video is about. In this video I want to talk about the 5 different career choices you have, and how all of these are going to be affecting you in the longer run. So let's talk about the first thing. The first thing is opting for GATE, or like, you know, doing GATE coaching, because that is really essential in the last year of your bachelor's. Now, yeah, I mean, you can do that. We did that. I, Vikas, and some other friends like Sandeep and so on, we all were there. We all were in this situation where we were seeing everybody else going for the GATE preparations. And you know what the fun thing is? We are 7 friends. And out of those 7 friends, just 1 person has utilized his GATE exam, like result, that's it. And all of us 7, we went for like GATE coaching. That is like the really sick thing. 1 went to army, 1 went to banking, I came abroad, then some other one went into teaching in some private institutes, and like it's just all over the place. Nobody of us 7 like actually moved further with the GATE, but there was one who did. He did his MTech in the NIT, and it was great experience for him. He said he learned a lot. He learned a lot more than what he learned in our university. Afterwards, he's preparing now for IES. So that's like a nice transition. So in case you know that you want to stay in India and you want to do your masters here in India, then it's fine, like you can go forward with that. And also if you want to go for any kind of PSUs, like the salary is nice, you also have this kind of work culture where you have like people below you and you can order them around. That's the typical like a government job culture right there, no? So I mean, that is a possibility. If you want to stay in India and if you want to have a secure job, I think a government job could be a very nice thing. But do not have very high hopes from the working environment or from the working culture there, because, well, that's not just how things are done in India. So like, we are still like a bit laid back, we'll do things tomorrow and it's all fine, not a problem at all. Now let's talk about IAS and IAS. I mean, these are extremely tough exams to clear. And when I say like it's extremely tough, I don't mean that you cannot clear it, but I can just tell you that the chances are very high that if you're not like completely into this, if you're not completely into your engineering and you don't just want to spend 8 hours of your day or even more just studying, then this is going to be something very hard to pull off, because there are essentially people who are working harder than you, who are working more than you, who would be having a better shot at this, because pretty much the more you work hard, the better your luck is. IES and IAS, it is like really nice. You enjoy a very nice lifestyle afterwards. You get to go around in super nice cars, you again have subordinates under you, you have people respecting you, everything that you can dream in a job, in a secure job, like that is right there. Super sorry, I had to leave. The new chair came. This chair that I'm sitting on, it's broken. I had to get this new one. This is the old one. I think if you remember from the vlog that I did last year, this was just lying on the street. Like, I got this for free, I renovated it, but it still broke because, yeah, maybe it's too old. The new chair came, so super excited for it. So from IAS and IAS, like I said, like everything that you can dream of in a nice job with respect, with nice money, with people around you, like people taking your orders and so on, that is all going to be there with all of the fancy bells and whistles with a job like this, right? So you also have your own house which is paid by the government, and even if you have to pay on your own, like the amount is very less. I think it's just like 2,000 rupees or 2,500 rupees or something like that. I know this because my father was also a government official and he was the registrar in the Chaudhry Bansilal University in Bhiwani, so we had some nice time there. And yeah, so like I got to learn this entire like government job culture on a very like first-hand basis, and that is why I can talk from experience. Of course, he wasn't an IAS or IES, although he tried to give the exam of IAS and he cleared like back in, I don't know, 30 years ago or something, and he really wished that he could continue further, but he couldn't because of the financial reasons. My father, he comes from a village and like money was all tight, so he took a more secure option of just doing his masters in Kurukshetra University. So that was the lucrative side of this IAS even back then. Like, it has always been like that, and you would just get a lot of perks, you would have a nice lifestyle, but cracking these exams is extremely difficult. If you know that you're 100% sure about it and you want to like absolutely do it, then, you know, go forward and like take a hit at that, and I wish you all the best. It's just that with all of this reservation thing coming up and brewing up even worse and worse, I'm not so happy about it. And of course, like, there's the other side, like, of course casteism exists, and of course like reservation exists, but till the time reservation is going to be there, like there is not going to be one homogeneous group of people. Like, even at jobs, like of course people are going to talk about these things, and this is sad. Like, there is no denying it, but just government has to come up with a better solution. Like, this reservation thing isn't helping in reducing casteism at all. Then the third option is doing a private job, and I mean, there are people who have landed some really spectacular private jobs from our university too, but not in civil engineering. In civil engineering, the salary has been really low. It's just like, I don't know, 15,000 rupees, and then you are on the construction site from 7 in the morning to sometimes 10 at night, because the concreting part, it is generally done when the temperature is lower, and like that generally happens when it's like early morning or like late at night. In civil engineering, there is a lot of grind, and afterwards, after some years of experience, like, yes, you can earn good money and there is money under the table and all of those things. Civil engineering is not essentially lucrative in India, at least. In Germany, it's also like the least paid engineering job, but the least paid is already 3,000 300 euros with bachelors, and if you have masters, then you get anywhere up to like 3,600 to 3,800 euros per month. So you already see that difference. So like even if you're doing like civil engineering or something, you know, and if you want to do a private job, then even like studying masters in Germany and doing a private job afterwards could be something for you. Private job has a lot of scope for growth, like especially if you show merit, be it India or be it here. But like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the work culture in India. I just absolutely hate it. I just don't like how unprofessionally things are done, how sensitive people could be sometimes, and how they could be just triggered by every tiny thing. Like, I mean, they would talk more about how fat you are, how ugly you are, how you have no hair on your head in the workspace, than they would be actually talking about these things. I mean, even on YouTube sometimes, like so many times I get these comments from Indians only, and which is like, hey, you got fat, and even for Alina sometimes, you got fat and this and that and that. And you don't understand that we haven't heard this in the last 3 years in Germany. And like, yes, we have mirrors, yes, we can see what is going on, and yes, we are doing something against it, but in Germany it's just not the culture. Like, you know, if you cannot make somebody's life easier, then do not make their life worse. And even though us Indians have this mentality that, hey, you know, maybe we are the well-wishers, and that is why we are saying like you're ugly, or you don't have any hair, you have lost all of your hair, you have gray hair, or you're getting fat and stuff. But that's not well-wishing, man. Like, it's such a huge cultural shock. And I don't say like, you know, you are wrong, but you have just learned this from the culture, and like we see this culture here, and it's like just two different worlds. So I mean, yeah, just like the work culture in that sense, that, you know, many a times there could be a lot more unnecessary things being talked about, and like you might be given a lot more unnecessary tasks of like making tea, or like picking somebody up from the airport, or like taking some clothes or something for, you know, dry cleaning. What do I know? This is something that I'm not a huge fan of. Like, a lot of my friends have complained about this who have been working in the private jobs, and yes, there are good companies who, you know, do not do any of these kind of things, but yeah, it's just a luck thing, man, to be honest. Like, until you are inside the company, nobody else will be able to tell you the exact truth. Nobody will. Nobody. Everybody talks nice about their own companies. Everybody says, yeah, it's a good company, come, it's all fine. But once you're inside, you're actually inside the entire situation, then you start feeling, you know, that maybe this isn't the right place for me, right? So that is for the private jobs. Like, if you have good score, and if you had some kind of like good internships and stuff, and if you're getting a nice package, you can also try that. I mean, you can try it for a few years, and then afterwards, if you still get bored after 2 years, after 3 years, you can apply for masters, or like you can apply for GATE, or you can do these things, and you know, you still have a lot of different options. With the government jobs though, you have these age limits that you have to take care of, so like, you know, be a bit careful about that. It's also fine if you're getting well paid, which is generally not the scenario in India. So yeah, just make a good decision on your own, and like think about all of these tiny different things and see what kind of option fits the best to you. Then afterwards, the fourth option is, you know, moving abroad. And moving abroad to UK, US, Canada, Australia, most important countries, like where everybody wants to go to because of no language barrier, high pays, and easy visa and all of those things. And I mean, it is true, like the amount of money that you will be earning in US compared to Germany, that's incomparable. The same is true for Australia. But all of these companies come with their own like downsides, and so does Germany. So like in Germany, maybe like the salaries are not exorbitantly high, but you know, you have a very nice lifestyle. You have a very simple, stress-free, and just a very safe life here, and like, which is something I really love. In US, you have the drama with the guns. So like, you never know. It's like New Delhi of the entire world. You never know which person comes and like blasts you in the head. In Canada, it's fine, but you know, like my brother told me that, you know, the weather is just like really harsh sometimes. So that's the case there. In Australia, yes, you can also earn a lot of money, but for me, it's the snakes and spiders which I absolutely hate, and also being completely on the other end of the world, which is something that I don't really like. In UK, the problem is like, after studying, they don't have any kind of stay back. So like, if you can find a job during your studies, it's great. If you can't, then you know, you have to go back. These kind of things combined, and when I think of, you know, like Germany being in Europe and being the largest economy since so many years, I still prefer Germany because like, it is so easy to travel to Denmark, to just go to France, to go to Netherlands, to go to Poland, or maybe to go to Switzerland, and all of these things. It's just absolutely nice. And every single country, so like, imagine EU to be India, but the states are actually the countries. So in every single country you have a different culture, you have a different language, and you just get an entirely different vibe, which is something I cannot trade off for even like millions of euros, because this kind of freedom, this kind of ease that you can just travel around and move wherever you want, it's just something absolutely beautiful to me. Yes, choose a country that you want to go to, but choose it because you want to go there and not because everybody else is going there. Read a bit more about it, do some research, make a good informed opinion on your own by contacting the universities, by writing to the students who are studying there and so on, and that is going to be very helpful for you. Now finally, let's talk about Germany. In Germany, yes, you earn lesser in comparison with US or I don't know, some other countries. The groceries are cheaper. Like you might laugh about this, but it is actually cheaper when you compare it to Denmark or something. In Denmark, for very normal things, we would just directly give away like 40 euros or something, and you can get the exact same kind of groceries in Germany just for 20 euros or sometimes even 15 euros. The grocery costs are actually not that bad, and even if you talk to any kind of German, like they're going to say the same thing. And also if you think about the rent and stuff, it is also not as crazy as US, Canada. Like my brother is paying what, 800 Canadian dollars or something for his like basement where he's living in. We are just paying like 550 euros for our apartment. So this is like the kind of difference, and our apartment has a nice balcony and everything. It's great, it's cheap, like most important, because right now we cannot afford like any kind of like expensive apartments or something. Living costs are also lesser compared to a lot of different countries. Now if you go to the countryside in Germany, then like the living costs go down even further. My major reason to stay in Germany and to come to Germany was not just the economy, that like it has the largest economy in Europe. There are so many companies, and especially like German companies are so innovative, and they are always trying to brand themselves. Like this is something I absolutely love. Even the public authorities here, they have their own like marketing and branding department. So like what kind of icon to choose, what kind of slogan to choose, and all of these tiny things. And I just absolutely love it. Like when everybody is trying to brand themselves and everybody's brand name is essentially telling you what kind of feeling you would get from that brand. So like maybe Bharat in Germany, you get a specific kind of feeling. You talk about somebody else, you get a different kind of feeling, and so on. So this is something which was like really nice for me. Then another thing was culture. Like US, Canada, Australia, and all of these immigrant countries, because of being immigrant countries, do not have a very homogeneous culture. Like of course there are things like adopted from each other and stuff, but Germany is something like which have their own culture. If you go to South Germany, you see all of these like black forest, and you see their houses, and you see their cuckoo clocks and everything, and you just see these Schutzverein and what do I know. It's just like so many like tiny and nice things to figure out, and this is also the reason that I wanted to absolutely come here. And another most important thing was the language barrier. The language barrier actually motivated me to come to Germany, because I was thinking that only people who are really motivated will be coming to Germany, because otherwise if you come with just English proficiency, you are not going to get integrated into the society anyways. And Germans appreciate this difference, and Germans appreciate that you actually learn German and that you're talking to them in their same mother tongue, compared to you just being a foreigner and like just knowing English. And yeah, it's not so great, trust me. And another important thing was Alina. I mean, I would have still come to Germany. Like this has been my dream ever since I was in my, I don't know, 10th grade or something, because I did my kindergarten here. During my kindergarten here, my father was a scientist in University of Freiburg, and it was all nice and well, but afterwards we had to go back, and there was again this kind of like reverse culture shock, and I always wanted to move back, but my father said in Bachelors, no, it's not the right time, you shouldn't go out, first do your Bachelors here, then you can do your Masters afterwards. So in Bachelors already I found out an opportunity to attend a conference here in October 2014 in Friedrichshafen. Then afterwards in summer 2015 I did a 3-month internship with Schleichbergermann partner, and then afterwards in 2016 I finally came here. So like in the last 2 years of my bachelor's, I was going to Germany almost like every single year. So that was the entire story, and this pretty much let me know the country firsthand and what kind of things it has to offer, and like how like nice people are and how ready they are to help you anytime that you need. And these kind of things, they just left a very nice impact in my brain, and yeah, I just decided to move to Germany, and it has been great ever since. I mean, yes, I don't find the refugee solution that they are doing the best, because well, things have changed and everybody agrees to it, everybody acknowledges it, that Germany is not the same like it was like 10 years ago, but it is really not compared to any other country. Like if you think about the crime rates and like the safety of life and everything, like Germany is very safe, and you know, you can do your own things, you can mind your own business, and it's just a very great place to live in. So you should choose Germany only when you want to learn the language. Then afterwards you are fine with not earning much, but you want to have a good lifestyle, you want to have time for your own hobbies. Third thing, in Germany you will always have time for your own hobbies, and you can choose a lot of them. Like you always have different kind of like interest groups like which meet up every single weekend or something, and that is also very common in Germany. The fourth thing is the medical insurance. I mean, it is very nice. I mean, in US I have to face these horrors where like people come to the streets just because, you know, they got sick because of something. In Germany you have health insurance and it's all nice and well, and if you have any kind of problems, most of the times the health insurance pays for it, and it's great in that sense. And the fifth thing is just the industry. Like you have so many jobs, so many innovative jobs with a very professional working culture who always want to strive for efficiency. And this is pretty much Germany for me. Germany for me means professional people doing things very effectively and with a nice branding. Like this is like in a nutshell Germany for me. And this is also the same thing I can convey to you, that this is pretty much your guidelines if you want to come to Germany in comparison to any of the other career choices that you want to make. The sad thing is, like even just in the last 3 years I've seen this education consultancy part of like coming to Germany like turning into like so many frauds and scams, and like people throwing into bad universities and bad institutions without having any kind of guilty conscience. So yeah, this is kind of disturbing for me, and this is also the reason I tell you that if you're applying for Germany, it is not as simple as it used to be 3 years ago. A lot of like different middlemen have popped up. They will try to lure you into different kind of like institutes and stuff. So just do your own research. Now, to also like guide students who want to go with me or like who want to seek my guidance, I have my online course where I offer them support from the moment when they want to think about studying in Germany all the way till their master's is done. So anything you need help with, I will be there. You know, I have my private Facebook group for the enrolled students where we discuss about these things. Just this weekend, so like the upcoming Sunday, we are going to have a live session where I'm going to prepare them for Germany. So like the main cultural shocks they should look out for, like how to behave, how not to behave, what kind of things are normal, which aren't, and how to start with their studies and so on. So like the next 2-3 weeks are going to be that, along with the general questions which other students will ask who are just coming in there maybe last year of bachelor's or even third year of bachelor's. Preparing in advance is always the key to Germany, so that it's not the last moment and you are picking up any kind of like, you know, shady private universities which do not have anything to do with Germany. For me, the rules are simple. For me, studying in Germany means studying in good public universities, and that is it. And this is also the reason you have seen me not collaborating with any kind of private institutions, because who knows what kind of experience students have there. So that's it. If you want to get the right guidance, enroll in my course. We don't partner with any kind of like shady universities whatsoever, and you will know in the back of your head that you're getting the best guidance possible for studying in Germany. And once you come here, you get support all the way till your master's is done, because trust me, master's is not a piece of cake either. So it is still difficult, and I'm seeing this because I have to write exams, I have to like do the master thesis. Man, this is like the most difficult month. I think, yeah, this will be the most difficult month of my entire masters. But anyways, I'm trying to keep in touch with you. I'm trying to keep in touch with you via emails too. So like if you aren't an email subscriber yet, you can just join the big fam by clicking in the link in the description, and I will get back to you super soon. Bye then.